A few years ago, I joked with a friend that what was going to lift the California economy out of recession was going to be same-sex marriage. I mean, we get married, what, 2, 3, 4 times, and every one requires a reception. And certainly in San Francisco, there is no more beautiful or classic place in which to host a reception than the Julia Morgan Ballroom. Our next guest, Lillian Phan of the Julia Morgan Ballroom. Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, what is it like to work at, it's not a National Historic Landmark, but it is a landmark room, correct?
It is. It's very unique. It's one of its kind in San Francisco. The actual building was built in 1903, but the ballroom has been around. It used to be an actual men's club. And then Clint Riley took it over and turned it into the Julia Morgan Ballroom.
I remember back in the 1990s, I worked briefly for the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, and we were then located in that building, and sometimes we just sneak up to look at the room and the bar because it's so beautiful. And now it's become one of the top premier event spaces in town.
It is, and we don't just do weddings. We actually host a lot of nonprofit galas and also fundraisers, corporate events, so it's really unique and fun corporate entertaining space.
Yeah. Now, talk to us a little bit about the history of the room, but also for those who aren't familiar with architectural history or San Francisco stories, who was Julia Morgan and why is she significant?
Julia Morgan was actually one of the first women architects of our time, and she was very innovative and very entrepreneurial. She actually created the Hearst Castle and also, the Fairmont, and she designed all of her major works out of our building, the Merchants Exchange building.
So this was actually where she worked?
Yes. So she actually was a tenant in the building for over 56 years, and Willis Polk was the designer, and he's out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And of course now throughout San Francisco you see examples of what then were, the architects of their time, but now they become classic. What is it that makes a Julia Morgan designed room or building classic? Why has her reputation lasted and grown?
She just has a very unique flair throughout the building, and on the 15th floor there's a lot of cool murals and different spaces, so it's just classic because it's one of the ballrooms that don't look like a typical hotel space, and it's unique, it's one of its kind, and you can't really get it anywhere else.
Yeah, as I recall, I've been to several functions there. I remember last year there was a Chinese Lunar New Year's party there.
Yes.
And as I recall, there's a working fireplace.
There are. There are actually
on the 15th
two.
floor. And they're big.
Yes, so there's actually 2 working fireplaces, and you can throw in some logs if you want it that day. San Francisco is typically pretty mild, so we can get away with fires mostly every day. Right.
Now, I joked about how I thought same-sex marriage was going to save the economy in California. It certainly has become a moneymaker. How has what has been going on since 2008 with marriage equality taking over and first losing, then winning, and now back again, how has it impacted your business model as an event space host?
We actually just booked our first wedding for September 6th, and we're very excited for the couple. And we just booked another one for March 14th of next year. So we actually personally haven't really felt the difference, and I don't think we're really taking advantage of people yet, but I don't think we want to, but
no, I know
we actually haven't seen the huge push yet.
So you haven't seen a marriage boom yet?
No, not yet.
How difficult is it to manage a space? There are a lot of people know they want to get married, say at Land's End or at the Palace of the Legion of Honor. How does one let one know about this architectural gem, 15 stories above San Francisco?
Because it's such a unique space, the Julia Morgan Ballroom actually gets written up quite a bit. Just last week we were in the Chronicle just showcasing our really cool ballroom because it has a very unique, intricate ceiling. So because of that space, a lot of people just typically find it, and they just search large ballrooms, and ours just always pops up. Right. It's very unique, it's different, and people just love that.
Yeah. Now, how did you come to this work? You have an interesting history and story getting you here to San Francisco.
So I was actually in commercial real estate for quite a while, and one day I did a lot of philanthropic work for the Red Cross Gala and the Junior League of San Francisco, and just by doing a lot of different events, the vice president of Clint Riley Holdings, which owns Julia Morgan Ballroom, asked me one day, hey, you love doing it, you look like you're having so much fun, why don't you just come work with us? And I was a little hesitant because it's completely in a different industry that I'd never done, but I love the whole planning aspect of it, so I actually jumped ship.
Right. How important is philanthropy to your business? I mean, people think, oh, you just throw a party, it's because someone wants to celebrate something, but really philanthropy in San Francisco is big business. How many sort of fundraisers and benefits go on that really, impact the special event rental market?
Oh, wow. It's actually the most dominant one out of all three of our different segments. There's nonprofit, corporate, and also weddings. Weddings, of course, are always the ones that are very luxurious and high-end, but the nonprofits are the most in volume. So it's very important, it's very lucrative, and you'd be surprised by how much our owner, Clint Riley, actually gives back to the community. So he actually cuts a check for every single different nonprofit that wants the space, but at a reduced rate. So that's how we actually offset the pricing.
Right, so not only are you doing good by doing well, or doing well by doing good, you're actually giving back to the community.
Exactly, and it's really important to us.
Now, I joked that you may have something that would be worth a reality TV show going on later this year that's going to culminate in January. Tell me about this, the Love Contest?
Yes, so we're calling it the Love for All because
the Love for All contest.
Yes,
okay,
Love for All Gay Wedding Giveaway. And we really want to just kind of celebrate the fact that it is now legal and that people can truly have a celebration and have the reception, and it actually is binding. So nowadays, you can actually have a full-on wedding, like the scale of how most heterosexual couples used to do it. And now we're pushing for that on a larger scale. So one of the ways we're celebrating is by creating this giveaway and having different same-sex couples bring in their stories on our Facebook page. So facebook.com/gay wedding giveaway. And through that, it launches in August, and hopefully we will pick a lucky couple to have their special wedding with us.
So it sounds kind of like Gay Bridezilla. Is this what's going on, or? And is it, when you say same-sex couples, it means for men and women together?
Yes, Seth. Yes. So lesbian, gay, transgender, all of that. So we're very we're not specific on a specific group, but all.
So who gets to judge? Who gets to pick the winners? Is it open to Facebook readers, or can they submit videos and say, I think I deserved a wedding because?
So we've decided that the ones that actually created this, which is the Julia Morgan Ballroom, so I'm one of the judges, and also Michelle Walker Photography, who actually was one of the girls that actually decided that it was really important for her to have this kind of competition. So she's actually one of the judges, and also Christina Milliken of Glow Event Design. And so those are the three judges that are picking the lucky couple for the gay wedding giveaway.
Now, I don't see an engagement ring or a wedding ring on you yet. So what kind of wedding will you eventually like? How are you going to judge this as someone who hasn't walked down the aisle yet?
Oh, actually, I have walked down the aisle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I backed into that one. Boy, that was dumb.
No, that's okay. That's the crazy thing about me. I've actually been married and divorced, but I love weddings that much. I get so excited every time I see a couple walk down the aisle. It's just so exuberating, and like my heart starts pattering and I want to cry.
Why is that?
Because it's such a beautiful moment, especially if you really know that couple and you've been hand-holding them through the whole process. And it's just so loving, and you really feel it. And I guess I may be sensitive or whatnot, but I just love weddings.
I think everyone cries at a wedding. What is it that you think makes a wedding special, and specifically at the Julia Morgan Ballroom in our last few moments? What is it that makes that spot special for a wedding?
The thing that makes it most special is that we actually do everything in-house, so it's really easy for a couple to just come there, and then I pretty much handle the entire process. So it's like a one-stop shop. It's really fun, and then at the same time, the room is very I guess you can just transform it in any type of period or era that you want. And so it just makes it fun, and whatever that couple is about, you can really translate it into that space.
Right, and so now that you've had experience being married, you know what's going to make a perfect wedding for someone else.
Absolutely.
My most awkward transition ever on TV. Thank you for giving it to me.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Lillian Phan, event director for the Julia Morgan Ballroom, one of San Francisco's classic spaces. Next up, we're going to speak to someone who makes gardens beautiful, the world-renowned landscape architect, Steven Sussman of Sussman Design. We'll be right back.